Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we will be learning a difference between copying an object versus cloning an object in JavaScript. Okay, so in JavaScript, an object is a collection of key value pairs. It is a non-primitive data type that can contain various data types. So for example, you see here is an example of an object that contains three keys and the respective values to it. The values are various non-primitive types. So, so in some scenarios, you want to copy the object and modify the values in the new object. So we generally use equality operator to copy an object. So, so this is how we use copying an object in JavaScript. So, so just use constant variable name equal to the original object name. This will copy. So then you can use console.log to display. Let's see whether it is copied or not. Yes, it's copied. You can see the original object and the copied object contains the same values and keys. So now our use case is we want to change the value of the existing object. So sorry, new object. So I try to modify a value name property value to a different John. Rather than John, I try to change to Nagi, and then I'm displaying the new object as well as original object to see the difference, whether it is impacted the original object or not. You see, this is actually the original one, but that both after modifying that copied object name from John to Nagi, you see the both a new object as well as original object is got affected, which means the original object is affected because objects are reference types during the copying time. When you use equality operator, which means the objects are reference types, which means the values you change either in copied or original object points to the same object reference. So this is why equality operator means the copied object value, if you do any change in the copied object value, that will affect the original object. So how can we fix this? So we can fix this by using cloned method. So let's go to a clone method. So this can be the object cloning can be done in multiple ways. So we will be discussing couple of ways here. So we are the first one we are discussing with spread operator. So we are trying to clone an object using spread operator. You see, so we are using the same object and using the spread operator we are trying to clone the original object, and then we modified that value again back to Nagi. Let's change that cloned object property name property to Nagi, and let's use console.log to display both the objects. Let's run and see whether the values are changed or not. So spread clone.js. You see, this is not affected. This is no longer referenced, meaning the changing the cloned object value will not affect the original object. You got it? Okay, let's see the same functionality using another way. So in this case we are using Object.assign method to clone the original object. So here we used spread operator and we are trying the same functionality using Object.assign method. Let's clear this and see, there is nothing I have done. I just use Object.assign method to clone the original object and modified the name property of the cloned object to Nagi and displaying both the cloned user as well as original user. So this time we'll see OS cloned object. See, this is the copied or cloned object and the original object. So here also there is no effect. So because the objects are no longer referenced, meaning the changing the cloned object values will not affect the original value. Let's see the another use case. Another important thing we should know, what is the difference between shallow object and deep object. You see, if you see these two objects what I defined here, shallow user details, deep object user details, shallow object user details, deep object user details. You see the difference is, shallow object is nothing but a shallow copy means that the top level properties of an object are copied to a new object, whereas a deep copy means copying all the elements of the object including nested objects or arrays. So you see, this object contains a nested object which is a status, whether it verified a property false or true. Now we are using spread operator to copy these deep object user details. Okay, and then we are trying to change the state verified property value to true. Okay, let's see the difference. Let's see what is the end result of this. Generally, as you see previous example, when we modify a copied or cloned object properties using a spread operator or Object.assign method, the original object is not affected. But in this case, if you see, we are modifying the reference, nested reference property value. So see what happened, the original of object also affected, because nested objects, the spread operator or Object.assign, if you use a nested reference properties will not be copied. That is the issue here. So how can we fix this? To fix this, we can use JSON.parser. So now we copied using spread operator, right? So rather than you copying spread operator, copy using JSON.parser. Cloning object with a JSON parser. Okay, let's see now whether it is affected the original object or not. See, the copied object updated, but the original object is not affected. But I would say there are some challenges. Everything seems fine, right? But a couple of interesting things. This may not work for types like object functions, null values. So this is JSON.stringify works very well with primitive data types like number, strings, booleans, but what you have seen in our previous example. But sometimes JSON.stringify is unpredictable if you are not aware of some values and how it handles them. For example, functions or undefined values, it may ignore. So, thank you. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.